I haven't opened Minecraft in a very long time. I want to start this fractured thinking off with a note. I am a little, I want to say somber. There are leaves now. Alrighty then. There are so many problems going on in the world right now. And while I don't think I'm going to be talking about anything uncouth, I'm not going to go and talk about how I don't have a Lamborghini, which is not a problem I think I will ever have. I don't even have a car, dude. Public transport is sick. But I do want to say that despite, I'm not going to be talking about anything insanely insensitive. I just do know that I'm coming from a place of pretty strong privilege. I'm in a very fortunate position. And I'm going to go into what I see as problems of an artist. I don't know, that's the context I was thinking of it today. The problems of a creative. And now I haven't read the book, but it was brought up in a class I was taking. Virginia Woolf wrote a book, A Room of One's Own. And there was just this idea that a woman needs money and a room of her own to write or to work. Hopefully, the feminist ideology is clear, but the reason I bring it up is because I have money and I have my room to work. Or do I? Which is what I'm going to get into a little bit. The digital room. But physically, yes, I have a room. That is to say, my plight is obviously not we're not on the lower level of Maslow's hierarchy here. But nonetheless, I do think, I don't know, it just feels important for me to say that because I feel like some of this stuff is like so, I don't want to say unimportant. I think it's important, but I don't know. I sometimes fear that I sound detached when in reality I'm actually not, and I'm having very normal conundrums and problems. But anyway, that aside, welcome back to Fractured Thinking. Playing Minecraft today. I wanted a little bit of nostalgia. I've been struggling recently, and I'm gonna not go too deep into things. But I'm gonna talk a lot about exploring through art today. In my case, that is drawing. In my case, it just the struggles I have with being creative, and to discuss that a little bit, I'm by day a software engineer, and as far as having a job and a paycheck goes, like, no complaints, right? And I was at a job that I didn't like. I didn't fit. It was not for me. If you know me, you know. And I got out. I'm trying to convince myself and agree with the people who say this is so, but I quote unquote worked hard to get out of it. And I was able to get somewhere where I think I can relate a little more with the people in terms of the work itself. I don't know. I don't want to talk bad about anything specific, because I think, if you're living life in order to have a job, and you just want a paycheck, like, there's nothing wrong with that. I am not one of those people. I absolutely need to be able to do my own thing. And even though my discipline was lacking for a little while. By the way, the music today is Sessions Vi, courtesy of Riot Music. I think I need to be able to. I started programming when I was 14 because of this game. I was playing on a server with my friends and we wanted to play on our own. And that was all it took for me to go, all right, learn to code a little bit. Remember my first big mini game, we released it and we got a bunch of people on to play and it was great. It was really cool. And I think that I look back on that moment and I'm, where did that come from? That was lucky. Where did I get the incentive to play and explore? I forgot you needed food. Oops, I'll go hunt for that now. Why did that disappear? I don't really know when I last had that. I think last summer is the only instance in which I can think, oh my god, I did something with purpose in my life, when I taught at a summer camp and led a fantastic group of kids. And I just feel like I led a really strong program. But when did I lose my ability to play and explore? When did I become so results oriented? And I feel like all that culminates in my ability to see beauty is just gone. I feel like the last time I could completely lose track of time, I haven't played this game since before these trees were a thing. The last time I was able to just lose track of time that I can remember was when I was in high school and I made a animated intro for this channel. We had a snow day and I thought, I'm gonna go into After Effects and learn After Effects for a while. And I did learn After Effects. I mean, not period learn After Effects, but I just got lost in that all day. And I made an intro in a day. And I think I also sort of got lost in making Minecraft plugins for a little bit. I mean, I remember a friend and I reconnected and we were trying to play One in the Chamber. It's a Minecraft minigame. And we couldn't find a server that would, like, the games would last long enough because it was just the two of us. And I sat down in one weekend and I wanted to play with him so bad that I just, like, made the plugin. I just, it was a moment where I got lost in it. And this was after the YouTube video, I guess. Now, I'm taking these art classes now. And this is another thing that, I'm able to do this because of the fact that I can make good money writing text on screen that does stuff. And I'm so fortunate to be in the position that I'm in. And yet, I suffer so much. Life is suffering. And I think, honestly, when people ask me how I'm doing, I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. And the thing is that I am all right. I think I do believe life is suffering. You can't really get around it. But the thing is, it's only fine because I guess I choose this suffering. These art classes I'm taking, I was doing a 4-day painting workshop, and it was over 4 weeks, every Saturday for 4 weeks, whereas a normal class, quote unquote normal, might be 8 weeks. And they're more or less just independent artists teaching their own classes. And I guess pursuing drawing and painting is reminding me that I've just become so results oriented. I don't know. You know, I strong arm disciplined my way through college, and I mean, that worked out all right. I strong arm disciplined my way to study for a new and better job, one that was more suited to me. But that's not really how I want to live. And I think that's the crux of this, where I was working to get to a point where I could live the life I wanted. And I think I'm especially lucky because there are people in software who don't like software. Like, they just don't like programming. But they did it because it makes good money, and 4 years ago it wasn't such the hellscape that it is today. Layoffs every other day and yada yada. I've been laid off, and I've felt like I've been a cog in the machine, and I stopped being a cog in the machine, and now I'm a cog in a machine, but a machine that lets me be a cog anywhere else in my own machinations. But I've been doing a little bit of game dev for an hour every morning. Still doing it. It's February 28th today. And it's going well because I'm not strong-arming results out of myself. But the thing is, just like every single art class I'm taking, I feel a strong sense of indignation towards the result. I was using the word disgust the other day, but I think indignation is a better word. Disgust is very raw. And the thing is, I think as an artist, you'll never be content with the result. But the problem is, I'm in a job where every job, right, has deadlines and outcomes, and you need to attain those deadlines and outcomes. And that's fine, whatever. And that's a place where, you need to be results oriented. And that works. The trade-off is very explicit. You not only pay me money, but you provide me a way to make money that I can live by. And I don't mean a living wage, but I mean I make money and I can go to jiu-jitsu every night, and I can do these art classes, and I have time to do the homework for the art classes. And the technical problems I'm being given are interesting. But this, to quote our boy Franz Kafka, I am lost because I am free. Now I don't know how free I am. We're not going to talk about free will today. But I am having these problems because I'm able to push myself. Now, I've gone back and forth as to whether or not there are people who can do their work for the day, come back, crack open a beer, watch the game. I don't know if those people really exist. But at this moment in time, I do believe they exist. And I think what I don't know is whether or not those people are happy, because I picture myself in those shoes, doing my job for the day and then just watching TV. I do that already, and I don't like myself. And it's because I want to create things. You know, I'm not necessarily results oriented because I think it'll be the best. Like, I don't, how do I put this? I don't want results because I think they'll get me somewhere I need to be. I want results because I want to create. When I set aside a plan to make 1 game a month this year, it's because I wanted to create 12 game prototypes and show myself that I could create. And if you can relate with any of this, you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I guess the art class that I had today, the instructor was talking about inspiration and everything. And I just don't remember the last time I felt so inspired. You know, I think that one in the chamber example is a good example of feeling inspired. And the summer camp, you know, why did I make that program? I almost just walked off the edge. That curriculum, for lack of a better word. What was it that drove me to do that? I think it was inspiration. I certainly wasn't motivated. And I think there's an important distinction here that what inspires pulls you and what it motivates pushes you. But the last several months, if not coming up on a year now, I have been so severely uninspired. And as a result, the only way for me to do things is to strong-arm myself. To focus on, look, once I just do this thing and get out of the way, I'll be content, I'll be happy. And all of a sudden, I'm taking these art classes and I'm like, all right, all I got to do is, these are interesting looking pigs. You know, just draw these 6 heads and we're good to go. Now, I took the last week off of work. Okay, well, there are definitely new mobs in this game. Or they're animals based on biome, that's cool. And I told myself, okay, you know, don't focus on the result. Just focus on the input. I'm gonna spend an hour a day writing, an hour a day of game development, and when I'm bored throughout the day, I'll come back to it, and 3 hours a day of drawing. The first 2 days were okay. I didn't write, I did my game development, I did my drawing. And I just lost it again. And the thing is, I know the answer can just be self-discipline. You know, all stick, no carrot. Sure, fine, whatever. But I don't want to live like that. And I mean, the alternative, right, is... I don't know what is the alternative. Lead myself into ignorance. Watch TV all day, whatever, who cares? Doesn't make a difference. Play games all day, whatever, who cares? Doesn't make a difference. And I just want to reiterate the fact that if you do play games all day or watch TV all day, there's no judgment here. Like, if anything, there's envy. Well, I found my little home base. I don't want to be ignorant. I guess I'm not that envious. But I feel like, you know, it's impossible to ignore some things these days. I was going to turn on keep inventory, but I don't remember how to do that. I'm not going to look right now. That's crazy. I didn't know this was a thing. Yeah. You know, I'm going through these results, results, results. Just do the work. And I mean, it works. I go to jiu-jitsu 4 days a week, if not 5, when I don't have a Saturday art class. I run to class most days. You know, the physical stuff, it was almost easy to just do it. Because there's no other way. You want to do jiu-jitsu, you just gotta show up. It's just that easy. I show up and I do it for 2 hours and I roll every round now. And that's cool and all, but why can't I draw for more than 30 minutes? Why can't I just lose track of time while drawing? Why is it that I put down 4 lines or a couple brush strokes and I'm already disgusted by what I create? That's what bothers me so much. I just struggle so much with it. And there are mentalities where oops. Okay. You can hold 1 item. You're useless. Oh. Never mind, maybe not. Yeah, why do I have to be disgusted by it? You know, why can't I just enjoy a purely creative process of just life? I was playing a game called Chicory the other day. You're a dog with a paintbrush, effectively. And it's a fun game. And I enjoy playing it. I think there's something to learn from games where you really can just sit back and the game takes you, you know? In the game, you really can get lost with time. And so can you with YouTube and watching TV shows. What up, G? Okay, you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. You'd be like that. I don't know, there's a lot of silence in this one, I'm sorry. I think I'm kind of hitting a personal nerve more so than I have ever in the past of fractured thinking / VGT, so. I do these sometimes because I'm like, I want an epiphany. I'm just gonna talk it out. I want to know why why do I care so much about results? I mean, I guess the hard part is I know why, and it can be effective, and I'm so sick of doing it alone, dude. I'm so sick of doing it alone. I'm not gonna get into that. I guess, the question now is, well, how do you regain it then? It's like, okay, sure, you've lost this ability that you potentially once had. How do I get it back? No idea, Chief. How do we, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but the beholder has lost their ability to see beauty in the world. How do we get it back? I think of these moments where, hearing about Kim Jong-gi and going out with a friend and they're just like, what shall we draw today? or hearing other people like Eric Barone talk about just wanting to tell a story and create. Do they have the same struggle? I mean, they must. Well, not the same. I think everyone has an individual struggle, but the point is they must have some struggle. I think it's part of being an artist, or trying to be an artist, or someone who must get their feelings out of themselves and into the world. And I feel these moments where I get a spark of motivation or inspiration, and then it just dulls out so fast, because I know I have reinforced the idea that it's not going to be what I want it to be. And being as results oriented as I am, it's great, but again, if you just make the whole thing about the result and you can discipline your schedule and everything, what's the point of doing it when it doesn't matter in the end? You know, when I realized, and I made this change to my game design plan, I realized, well, I don't want to be someone who has made a bunch of games. I want to be someone who makes games and tells stories. I think I've just not defined the question right. Why can't I sit down with a pen and a paper and just explore anymore? You know, part of me wonders, was there a lack of positive reinforcement? Yeah. I can, point at various occasions where going down the path of an engineer, software engineer, was applauded, for lack of a better word. And discussing the path of the artist wasn't supported. I by no means am implying anything strong. I never had a strong sense of wanting to do anything in the first place, which is why I consider myself so lucky to be where I am, because I wanted to make this thing for people online. It was just that easy. It wasn't easy at all, but I look back at this week that I've taken off, and I'm like, what did I do? Oh, these are not the good guys. Oh shit. And I mean, that's exactly the problem, right? It's all about the result. And I hope that I can look back at this time one day and think of it as treasure time. I think I've even made a fractured thinking on the topic, but all of this experience is not something that the past me has had. But I just want to, if you draw with just discipline, and despite the indignation, it's still there. And I think mistakes are what it is to be human, right? I mean, I have a whole philosophy around AI, and it's pointless, because AI does nothing but imitate. There is no innovation in AI. It is the death of culture itself, as it stands now, at least. Why bother learning a new game engine or programming language when the AI has data on other? But this is not a fractured thinking about that. I don't want to talk about AI right now. This is about me. And I think that's another thing where if I was so results oriented, then I would use AI all the time, because it can just do everything for me. Well, I don't want AI to tell my stories, dude. I don't do anything if AI does it for me. Like, I think it lowers the barrier to entry, and that's great, but I feel like a lot of artists these days, and I hesitate to even call myself an artist, but I mean, I might as well. I call myself a storyteller technically, but we can call that a subset of artist. It's like in a day and age where all these I feel so detached from whatever. What is everyone else seeing? Can someone tell me that? What is the hype? Where is it? These people who are saying that software engineers will all be replaced, that jobs are going to be replaced, and I mean replaced by AI. Where is it? I don't see it. All I see is AI slop. All I see is AI destroying open source repositories and art that is just so uninspired. If you look at a picture for more than 3 seconds and it's AI, you're like, this is stupid. Anyway, I think a big part of the reason I'm also facing all this is because I've blocked YouTube again. And I realized that I just replaced it with TV, and I'm starting to, I switched up my computer setup and everything. And so I'm facing the boredom, and it sucks, dude. But I completely blame the world we live in for so much of this. I mean, we're so desensitized. Missiles are falling on the other side of the world, and I'm like, all right, what am I gonna do about it? We're so desensitized by it all, and it sucks. All I want to do is I don't even know what I want to do, I want to go sleep under a forest of cherry trees at night. Cherry blossom trees. I want to tell my stories. I want to talk to new people I've never met before. I want to speak in front of people. I want to share my stories, right? I want people to experience what I have to offer the world. I don't want to be content with where I am right now. I don't understand it. I know that there are so many people who would probably kill to have what I have. And I'm sure if I didn't have what I had, I would kill to have what I have. But as we, psychological studies of yore show that amputees return to the same emotional baseline that lottery winners do. And I think that's true for everyone. I don't channel my desire for more into a desire for a bigger paycheck. What is the point of dying with a bigger number in your bank account? I have money and I have a room. And that's another thing, actually, about the social media and what I want to talk about. I don't have a digital room. That kind of hit me today. The point about the room is that there was no place for women to work. If they wanted to do something, if they were allowed to do something, it was in the main living room, or salon, whatever you called in the olden days. And there's people coming in and out. It's not a place meant for work. And, I live alone, for better or for worse. And I'm moving into a smaller apartment shortly because I got a place so I could have a dedicated office space, but I just don't need it. It's not. I just want a bedroom, main room. That's all I need. But digitally, Discord's open all the time. And I think, you know, in blocking Instagram and blocking YouTube and deleting X or Twitter or whatever, when I did, best decision ever, but I'm still keeping so many distractions around. I truly believe that people shouldn't be on their phones all day. I mean, it's becoming more of a cultural norm, but I truly believe it's just genuinely bad for you, because I have felt those negative effects and still feel the aftermath of those negative effects. I'm also trying to quit caffeine. I've had 300 milligrams today, but the last 2 days it's been 150. And that's down from 800 a day. I'm not even kidding. It sucks. I've slept so much this week. I'm just ranting about... For so long I had a belief system in grades, right? To discipline myself to get good grades, because I needed a good job. Because you need a good job to get paid. And I held these things over my head. It wasn't a carrot and a stick. It was... you know, the stick moves you forward and you get the carrot. It was like the stick moves you forward to get you further from the bomb that's behind you. I don't know. Or the fire from burning yourself. But I'm so far removed from those fires now. Again, fortunate position to be in. I can sit here on a Saturday night evening, just rant about my problems to 3 people. But I'm trying to create this room for myself, because, you know, on my laptop, I block Discord until 7 p.m. And I think I'm going to keep it around, because I want my laptop to be my digital room. You know, I've done a great job with my phone. There's no apps on the home screen. It's all widgets. And you know, I'm sitting here talking and playing Minecraft, and I know that I'm gonna have to make this into a video. It's already been almost 40 minutes. Holy crap. Time is going so fast today. You know, days go by slow usually, years go by fast, but holy crap. And it wasn't really a problem to do this. You know, so often I put items down on my to-do list, because in the past, that's how they get done. The list hits 0 at the end of every day. It's the way it's got to be, but it doesn't have to be that way anymore. I'm going to be fine if I don't do that. So now I suffer from wanting to create and build and then not doing it, because there's nothing that's going to burn me if I don't. I think there were situations that led to me taking on large responsibilities early on, or, you know, I really had to push myself early on, and I don't really know why I did. I would argue that I was ahead of the curve in terms of, you know, blocking social media and whatever. It's not necessarily social media itself, it's just the way it's designed. No, you know, this is not a secret. I would argue it's proven. But we don't have our own rooms anymore, our own spaces. And I used to be so caught up in this notion of genius and how you had to be a genius to do anything. You don't, dude. You really don't. Like, I'm just some average guy, and I'm just trying to learn to draw, and it's getting better. Could be faster. I write some text on screen. I'm good at it, but that's only because I've been doing it for 11 years. But then when I sit down in my office space, I open Discord first. I check the news. I check my email. My room is infected. This is where I shall stake my claim. This is where I shall live. I used to muse about I was born too far in the future, too modern of an era. I feel like if I could compete in like jiu-jitsu or martial arts competitively, I would. But also, I kind of like my head concussion free. I sometimes wonder, like, software engineering just isn't the right career for me. It's like, congratulations, I'm playing society's game and I'm making money, but that's not why I got into it. I got into it because it let me create things. And now I'm closer to that goal of creating things, and I can create stuff on my own, but I'm creating stuff on my own. Fucking lonely, dude. In the past, when I've tried to bring people in on things or work with other people, I think it's just fallen through so many times that I just kind of gave up. And every once in a while, I want to try to do that again. And I think people have lives, Not everyone is like me in the sense that they just want to work and go home to their significant other or kid or whatever. They just want to work, or they want to work on their promotion career track or whatever. Everyone has different goals, and that's fine. I'm searching for all these things within myself, but it's like, what if they're out there? And I just gave up on looking for them. I think it's another part of the reason why I take these art classes is because I want to find people who are also doing these things to better themselves. Because none of these are official schools. I don't know what I'm even talking about anymore. I think what I'm really after is the ability to sit down and just get so lost in something. Sometimes it happens at work, but it's usually because there's a bug, or I'm like, I just got to finish this thing, and the momentum I have now is where it ought to start. I think there also have been some minor but very meaningful things recently, just personal life stuff that kind of happened. You just realize some people aren't friends. Time splits you up. Money keeps you apart. And I think that's also weighing on me. God, this is gorgeous, dude. It's funny, I still remember all the function hotkeys. It's just how it is sometimes, But is that when I lost the vision of the beauty? When certain people left? Suckers. Burn! I keep wanting to press C, but I don't have Optifine installed. I'm going to leave this one here. It kind of got depressing. I don't think I've totally lost it. My imagination is still pretty cooked. Not cooked. It's pretty good. maybe that's my scourge, right? I can see maybe see the things, and I wanna play with my ideas. I wanna explore all of my ideas. I wanna draw an idea out and really figure it out and really put it to an image. I don't care about what the result is. I want an idea. I don't want to go toward a result. I want to start with an idea and let it shape itself. I want to, as I draw or animate or something, work on this game, I want it to turn into something, and I want it to turn into something beautiful, and every step of the way I can feel that. I can feel when it might be good or bad. My current game project, Tease of the Kingdom, I can feel when it's the direction is going the wrong way. I can already feel that, and it's been like 10 days. And so I adjusted the direction, I changed it. Stop ruining my safe haven, you fool. I can, hopefully it helps me see the beauty in whatever the result is at the end of the day. I want to take an idea and just get so lost. I took off my watch 2 weeks ago because I wanted to stop thinking about time, but I still think about time. Even when you remove the result and say, I'm going to spend an hour on this, it's just time. Because I'm always thinking of the next thing. Because I don't want to be late to anything. But, like, what's so bad about that? Getting lost in creating. I don't know. I mean, nothing, I guess. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any thoughts down below. Maybe the next one will continue just playing Minecraft, because this works, even though I was jumping around here for 20 minutes. Have a good one. And as always, don't forget to keep creating. Stay awesome. Peace.